Maya, why is today such a
Hi.
special version of Maya's Latest News to keep us in the groove?
Because Joel McHale is calling in.
Because Joel McHale is calling in. There he is.
Right. I'm calling in. It's me.
There you are, my friend. Maya, take it away.
Okay, so my first question for you is who or what inspired you to start acting?
I thought you were going to say, who are you? And I was going to say, well,
Yeah,
Maya,
who are you?
What?
Who are you?
Oh, I don't know yet. I think I'm Ken Jeong right now. I think. As you can see, I have my own hospital studio. Anyway, it's a studio. It's actually, I have a radio studio that we built a hospital inside. It's the inverse of what you guys have. What is my inspiration to do what?
Who or what inspired you to start acting?
Other than Ryan Seacrest?
Yes.
All right. Boy, I don't know. It's a good question because it's all I ever kind of wanted to do. I was in a play when I was in first grade in Haddonfield, New Jersey, and I just felt like, oh, this is home. I like this. I like being on stage, and so that we did it was a play version of It's a Small World, which is the ride at Disneyland. That's how far Disney's reach is, that you can just write a play based on a ride that kids would do in public school. And now I work for ABC, so Disney. And so I always in the back of my mind, even as like a first grader, I was like, that's kind of what I want to do. But as far as inspirations go, like people, I mean, there are so many actors and actresses and hosts and comedians, and it is just overwhelming the number of people that I go, oh man, I'd like to do that. Oh man, I'd like to meet that person. So boy, if you have about 6 hours, I could tell you who inspired me and who uninspired me, I guess. No, I don't know if there's uninspiring, but yeah. So I grew up in a very nice home. My parents were very nice. That was one of the reasons that I went after this and felt safe to go after it.
Oh, cool. So you played Lassiter's dad in Psych 2, Lassie Come Home.
Yes.
And Psych is one of my favorite shows, and I love the movies. How did that opportunity come about?
That's a good question. So I am friends with this actor named Tim Amundsen, who was on Psych for the whole time. He is ugly and he's a terrible actor. And so I knew Tim. I knew Tim here in Los Angeles, but Tim is from my hometown of Seattle. And Tim was the kind of breakout star from Seattle, like him and Kyle MacLachlan. But I knew of Tim because we were of a similar age, but it was just like Tim Amundsen, the greatest actor in Seattle right now. And he went down to Los Angeles and promptly became very successful, as he should, since he's a very talented, good-looking man who I was constantly jealous of. And then we got to be friends, and he appeared on The Soup a bunch of times, which is a show I did in the before you were born. And then Tim had a stroke, which was terrible. And he had a catastrophic stroke, and it was a really big and bad one. And that was now over 3 years ago. And so as you know, he was on Psych. If you're an actor and you're working, you get healthcare through SAG. But if you stop working, you lose your healthcare. So he was about to lose his healthcare. It's crazy. And of course, everyone was wondering what was going on with Psych and everything. And so James Roday was like, we got to get some health care for this guy, and we get to go play with our friends again because we need to do another movie. This kills many birds. And, you know, everyone wanted to hear about what Tim was doing. So he was the star of the movie. and they asked me if I would play his dad just because I'm his friend, and I said I would do that in a New York minute, which is a phrase for doing it in a fast minute. So I would have done it for free. I would have paid to be in it, and that's how I ended up in it. And it was a great experience, and I would do it again. I hope the next Psych movie happens and I get to be in it, because that cast and crew are one of the more special cast and crews I've ever been around. They have created a great environment, because a lot of sets can be terrible, because when people are in positions of power and they're jerks, that spreads itself out through a whole set and everyone's unhappy. This set is the opposite. Everyone's Roday and Dule Hill, they are amazing, and so everyone's happy and everyone's well taken care of, and it was just like walking onto a fun playground that I got to be in for a couple of days. So that's a really, really long answer, Maya, and I think you had 2 birthdays during that answer, so happy birthday. I sent you a gift certificate to Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so you've been in so many amazing
That's true.
Have you had a favorite project or character you've played?
Well, I played a girl named Maya, who was in, wait a minute. Sorry, I always get these screwed up. No, a favorite thing, I really enjoyed being on Community. That was a 6-year run that we had of that show. So that was just a magical, wonderful time that I had a great time on it. I knew we were making a good show, and it was there are some of my favorite people that I've ever met on this planet, and will always be friends with them. And that ended now, oh my gosh, 5 years ago. But yeah, so Community was really a wonderful time. And then I was in this movie called Deliver Us from Evil that was directed by Scott Derrickson. And I got to be a cop and play opposite of Eric Bana. And that was just also an incredible experience. And I look back on that with great, great affection.
Oh, cool. So yeah, you played Jeff in Community, and that is such a funny show. What was your favorite part about working on that show?
Boy, I have so many favorite parts. Lunch was a really great part. That's where I would take a nap. No, boy, we knew the scripts were fantastic. We loved the writing. So we knew we were on this good show, which was so great. And we really became a family as a cast because we spent so much time with each other. So my favorite part, I think, was in between scenes when we were screwing around. And that was, there's a bunch of outtakes on the internet. And that was, we got to laugh and laugh and laugh. And it's one of those things where, Maya, that people were paying me to do what I love doing. So I felt like every day I could be like, I'm good. This is a dream come true. No matter what happens after this, I'm so lucky professionally that I got to be in something like this. So there wasn't like the moment when I was like, oh, this is it. Because there was lots of, it was a busy time and it was a lot of hours, and I almost fell asleep driving home a number of times. But I, when it works, it's like baking a cake. Everything, all these ingredients have to come together, and if one of the ingredients is off or overcooked or undercooked, it sucks. The whole thing sucks. But this thing was made perfectly, I think, and so I look back on it as like, oh, I got to be on something really good, and I'm very fond of that.
Oh, cool. So you guest starred in an episode of The Rookie, which is another one of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
Do you have any fun stories from the set?
Well, Nathan Fillion, I got to know him. Let's see. I think we had him on The Soup, and I hung out with him at Comic-Con, and he's like the king of Comic-Con. And he's just the nicest Canadian of all time. And that is saying a lot because most Canadians are super nice and polite. And that was just really fun because I got to play a jerk. Oh, shocker, I played a jerk. And that's an example of another set where Nathan kind of runs the show. He's the star, so everything starts with him, and he's so kind that I think he might not be a human being. He might be some sort of demon. No. So I love that guy. And boy, what's a fun story from that set? Well, Nathan buys all these gadgets all the time because he loves technology. Everything from like a stylus pen to an electric bike to like the latest vacuum robot. And so he always has that stuff everywhere, and it's hilarious, and he knows all about it. He's super smart. He's from Edmonton, one of the coldest places in the universe. But no, I like being on shows like that because it's like cops and robbers. So there's bad guys. We're chasing them, and I got to play a bad guy. So that was really fun. And we just had Nathan on Ken and my podcast, and he's great. He's salt of the earth. I love the man.
Oh, cool.
Like how long my answers are. What if I just made my answers like I'm a professional baseball player, where they're like, "Did you have any fun stories from The Rookie?" And I'll be like, "Nope, nope."
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say I like the long answers. So.
Yeah. I don't ever stop talking. I'm an extreme extrovert, and my wife is an introvert, which makes her life exhausting.
So you're an actor, comedian, writer, and TV host.
That's right, baby.
Where do you find your inspiration to write?
Oh, I like money. I want to be, money's great. And that usually should be everyone's motivation for their dreams. No, where do I find my motivation? I'm very unmotivated. I hate writing and I hate reading. I'm terrible at reading. I'm a terrible dyslexic and very distracted. And this is how bad I am. I have, like when people say, "We'd like you to be in this movie or something," I go, "Great." And then I will not read it, because when I sit down to read it, I'm just like, "I don't know about this." And then I'll run away. And then I'll go play Call of Duty or something. And then they go, "You have till this day to read it." And so like I had a meeting yesterday on Zoom, and I was up till 4 a.m. reading it because I hadn't read it. And then I read it and I was like, "This is great." And so I'm going to be in something else. So I'm very distracted. And the best way I write is if I'm walking around in circles and I'm dictating it. So it's very efficient. But my inspiration is that I love working. I get really strange on vacations. That's when I go into full-blown panic mode, is when I'm trying to vacation. I love working. I love going to a set. I love memorizing lines. I love all that stuff. So I hope I never not, if the bad acting police come and take me away, then so be it. But I want to work until I'm 112, if I'm so lucky.
Oh, cool. So what, or you've done comedic and dramatic roles.
Yeah.
Is there one that's more challenging?
Yeah, if you have to put yourself into an uncomfortable place as a character, that can be challenging. But at the same time, like when you finally get there, then it's wonderful. So you have to put work into to get ready for that role. It's like practicing, like if you're going to get good at a sport, you got to practice. So if you want to be good in this role, you better know what you're doing. And that can be a little frustrating or just take a while. But when you finally get there, and you're ready, then it's really kind of exciting. I'd say the most challenging thing, if it's a very busy set, which Community was, or like when you're on a movie that shoots at night or something, the sleep deprivation can get a little hairy, but not. It's strange. I hate waking up early. I hate getting to sets at 6 a.m. because I'm usually just dead tired until about 2. I love working all night. If everything I ever did was work starts at 8 p.m. and you'll be done at 7 a.m. or something, I would be great. But so the sleep deprivation can be rough for me. I mean, this is more logistical stuff, but I have 2 kids, so when I go away, like I went away for almost 2 months last summer, and I don't like that. I was flying back as much as I could, but if I were your age, Maya, I would go like the time of my life. I'm in Toronto and I have no responsibilities. So, yeah, but I would say I like it all. The technical aspects of some acting stuff, like if you have to do a dialect and you got to nail that dialect, some people that's very easy for, and other people it's very hard. For me, it just depends on the dialect, but that can be painstaking sometimes, but it's not bad. It's not like I'm hanging off the side of a ship, welding it back together or something.
So what inspired you to start the Darkest Timeline podcast?
Oh, well, that's what happens when you have 2 friends, and they're both workaholic, obsessive compulsives, and their schedule gets turned upside down, and they're no longer out touring doing stand-up comedy. So Ken and I, Ken is actually busier than I am, which is saying a lot. And so he and I, we said, well, we're not doing stand-up, so we might as well talk to each other for 2 hours a day. We haven't actually done it in a little bit because he's been shooting The Masked Singer and I shot my show for ABC. Then he shot a different show that he was hosting. And in the world of COVID, things are taking a bit longer as far as all the protocols and making sure everyone's wearing masks and COVID free and all the hand washing stations and all that. So that stuff takes a little bit longer. So that's kind of what inspired us. And so far we've only had our friends on. So we don't have a book or anything. We just text people and go, can you sit on your computer with us for a couple hours next Tuesday? And then they ignore us. And then we go to our other friends and see what happens.
Oh, cool. So have you discovered any new hobbies or talents during quarantine?
Other than I've learned to fly a plane. I'm kidding. I haven't. Helicopters, all helicopters. No, I've started jumping rope again, which I used to do as a kid a lot. And then I know that it was like a really good workout. That's basically my life. I'm obsessed with. When you get to be my age, Maya, you'll just, I just try to keep old age away like 2 minutes by working out for an hour. So I've been doing a lot of jump roping, and it's a dang good workout if you want to get into that. And I started because I'm a big competitive sports fan. So I've played tennis quite a bit. Not now because I think, let's see, it's 11:24 in Los Angeles right now, and it's 90. So it's going to be a fun day. You can't go play tennis when it's 96 degrees out. You'll just keel over.
Yeah. My family and I were a couple days ago, we met some friends like in the backyard, 6 feet apart, and it was like almost 100 degrees out. And we were there for like 2 hours, and then after we went home, I just turned to my sister and I was like, "Okay, minor heat stroke."
Yeah, I'd say so.
What always makes you roll your eyes when you hear it?
Any human being talking at any moment? No. I am annoyed by everything, Maya. So I think that's in the Bible that godliness is next to annoyingness. Boy, what makes me roll my eyes? My children roll their eyes at me, and what else? Boy, there's so many. There's so many things. I don't like fist bumping, even though I do it now. That makes me roll my eyes. I don't like when people say whatevs. I hate that. Why not just say whatever? I roll my eyes at that. I roll my eyes when people say, "Don't worry about it." Don't worry about it. That just drives me out of my mind. Any bumper sticker annoys me. Even if I'm pro whatever it is, I'm just like, ugh. These people put this on. It took their time to put this on a car. So there you go. There's a little insight to me.
What song would be on the soundtrack to your life?
Well, who's making the soundtrack of my life? And is it a movie?
If you want it to be.
All right. I'm very excited for this movie about me. Boy, what song? Boy, I would say, the soundtrack to Jaws. Just every time I walk into a room, it's like it gets really tense. Dun, 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 dun. Like just no matter what, even if I was just at a store and then I'd be like, "I'd like to buy this pack of gum," dun, 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 dun. And then I would get the gum and then I would start the whole thing over again. Pretty great.
So do you have a motto or quotation that you live by?
Let's see. This has to be rated G. So, boy. No. I don't have a motto that every morning I don't get up and be like, "Be as tall as a tree and clear as the day. I'm beginning." I don't have anything like that. I guess my motto is, "What are we doing?" That's probably it. Constantly asking myself that question.
So my last question for you is, who do you consider to be a real life superhero and why?
Batman. Because he doesn't have any special powers. He's just like an awesome guy. And probably Batman.
Cool.
I like that new Spider-Man kit. Real life superhero? I only have one friend that can shoot knives at the top of his hand, and he has an adamantium skeleton. And then I did have one friend bit by a radioactive spider, and he's fighting a lot of crime. Boy, yeah, I think that's about right.
That is
cool.
Good.
Maya, what's your favorite movie?
Oh, I have a couple, but probably, there's Psych the movie, and then Psych 2, and Shazam. I watch that one all the time. And then there's a movie called Home Again with Reese Witherspoon.
Oh, yeah. Yep, so, I know that movie. Okay. That's great. Those are all good choices.
And Maya, you got to share your favorite movie that you say is your favorite awful movie that you bring up sometimes.
I'm probably in it.
Well, so what's your favorite terrible movie?
Terrible movie.
Yes.
Boy, there's a lot. My friend and I used to just watch, I don't know, probably Wing Commander. It's not great, but it's really fun.
Cool. My favorite is Ishtar.
Ishtar's great. That's a great movie. How dare you?
Thank you. But
I don't think it's a bad movie.
my family and I don't either, but like apparently everybody else doesn't.
No, it's great. I think it's one of those movies that it became the culture of that movie to bash it. Like they wanted it to be bad, so they made it. The critics, no critic ever wants to be the critic that says it's the greatest movie of all time, and no critic wants to ever say this is the worst movie of all time. They want to be somewhere in the middle, and then sometimes they all pile on each other, and that became the narrative of the movie, and it was too bad because the movie's great, really funny. Charles Grodin is incredible in that movie.
Well, Maya, that's a first right there. Nice work. Getting Ishtar is rated great. That is awesome. Nice.
Yes. See, well, I always say it's a great movie, but now you have Joel McHale saying it.
So is the movie Hudson Hawk, and so is the movie Joe versus the Volcano, which both also got panned. And absolutely. I'm like, no, you guys are all wrong. Again.
There you go. Well, Maya, anything else?
I also love the movie This Is Spinal Tap, which again is not a terrible movie, but it's like there's people who absolutely hate it and then people who love it.
Yeah, the people who hate it are idiots.
Yeah.
That movie is remarkable.
Yeah.
It's one of the funniest ones. It's so good.
You can hear the sustain. Yeah. All right, Joel, thank you so much for your time today, man.
Thanks for having me, you guys. Let's do it again in a couple hours.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Hey, just call us for your podcast. That'd be great.
Sounds great. All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Sounds good, my friend.
Cool. Well, guys, thank you. Thanks for being in the hospital. And Maya, thanks for being in your room. And say hello to, I don't know, who is that behind you?
Ariana Grande.
Oh, Ariana Grande, yes. Hi, Ariana. So, yeah.
All right. And we'll tell Ryan he's your inspiration.
Yeah, tell him that.
Got it.
And I know I'm his inspiration because he looks up to me physically all the time. Very short.
Perfect.
Tiny little man. He's
all
a
right.
hobbit.
That is a compliment. All right, Joel.
Right on, you guys.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. I'm leaving the meeting.
You're leaving the meeting.
See you later.